Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at an idea that Lucho might be trying out this season. Obviously, this season, he's had Lucas Beraldo, William Pacho, Marquinhos, and Milan Skriniar available for the centre-back spots. Marquinhos and Pacho play the most, then it's Beraldo and Skriniar, He's just done when we play against the worst teams in the league, basically. But obviously, with the reports, Lucas Hernandez and Presnel Kimpembe are set to return, with reports saying Lucas Hernandez and Presnel Kimpembe took part in the entire training session. Lucas Hernandez very close to returning back on the pitch with the team. So, the closing in of Presnel Kimpembe and Lucas Hernandez is imminent. Obviously, we don't know about Kimpembe's level. He hasn't played football for nearly 2 years. Whilst Lucas Hernandez, we do know about his level. He's had ACLs before and still come back to his best ability. It's a bit similar to Neymar. Neymar got injured, was out for a long time, then came back and was still Neymar on the pitch. So it's a bit similar with Lucas Hernandez. So I want to talk about the shape that PSG played. Obviously, last season we played 4-3-3. That switched to a 3-2-5. That always happens in the Lucio system. He always plays the 3-2-5 shape when we have the ball. It was the same when we played 4-4-2. He also became a 3-2-5. Same thing with the 4-3-3 this season with the false 9. The only thing that's changing is who is taking what kind of position. And obviously, this is how PSG are playing at the moment. If we're going to try out the 5 at the back, we can see Pacho is going to be the central defender. He gives us that height, that aggressivity, and someone that can play, next to a big target man like a Erling Braut Haaland or a Robert Lewandowski or something. Last time we had Beraldo and Leva, it didn't look good. Pacho will definitely do a better job. You have Marquinhos and Lucas Hernandez, who both defend the wide spaces very well. Achraf Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, the two best fullbacks in the world. Vitinha, Neves, pivot, and obviously the attack. But if we go into a bit more detail into this 5 at the back, obviously here is the shape. You have pretty much the same thing. And this is the interesting about the 5 at the back. When you do change the shape, it still stays the same, because a 5-2-3 can easily become a 3-2-5, because the fullbacks just have to push up. That's it. And the main thing with this 5 at the back is that instead of Bradley Barcola holding the width, it's Nuno Mendes. Obviously, in some games, we've seen this happen. Neves is the one that drops back, plays that left centre-back role. Nuno pushes up, and then we have one less midfielder. But in this way, we don't have to do that. We can play this all the time. Obviously, when it comes to for the centre-backs, Skriniar, he will be the, get some regular minutes sometimes when Pacho wants to be rested. In the central centre-back spot, Lucas Beraldo, great on that left-hand side, and we can use Beraldo to his best ability. And Marquinhos, obviously, there is no understudy, and that's why Paris Saint Germain are looking for a right-footed centre-back this January transfer window. Probably Thomas Araujo from Benfica is having, once again, an incredible season. When it comes to the full-back spot, obviously, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, we have no backups to them. Lucas Hernandez could potentially play that left wing back. Warren Zaire-Emery could potentially also play the right wing back, because PSG are not looking to sign a right back. Obviously, here the reports mentioned that PSG are looking like fullbacks, but it will most likely only be a left back. When it comes to the double pivot position, it's the same thing. Vitinha, Neves, Warren, and Mayulu can play there, but we have seen Fabio Ruiz try there in the last game, I believe. So that's something I could see Lucho doing more often. Then we come to that number 10 spot / striker spot here. You could either have an additional midfielder, such as a Warren or Neves, and then it becomes a 3-man box in the middle with only 2 outlets, attacking outlets, as Dembele and Barcola, who go more narrowly because Hakimi and Nuno are holding the width. Or it could be someone like a Dembele, like a Kangili, like a Doué, so basically a number 10S type. Or it could be someone like an Asensio or Kangili, who's a false 9 type. Or you could even play like a striker, like a Gonçalo Ramos or Randal Colomwani there next to Dembele and Bradley Barcola. So there's even more options. If you want to play more defensive, you play an extra midfielder. If you want to play more offensive, you play an extra attacker. That's what I really like about this 5 at the back. And when it comes for the Dembus and Barcola positions, because they're more narrow and more central, I think Doué would look better in that position. Obviously, Mbaye, we know, can play with that position. But maybe Asensio and Kangili wouldn't look that bad in those kinds of positions because they're more narrow, they're more centrally, which means they need less pace as if they were on the wing. And obviously, a Gonçalo or a Colo could also be playing those positions, once again, because they're more narrowly to the goal. Obviously, when it comes to defending, PSG could either defend with the 5 at the back, not change much, with Dembele and Barcola going out wide and Kangili holding up in the center, or it could defend like this, more of a 4-4-2. Bradley Barcola pretty much stays as a left striker, Kangili pushes up with him, and Nuno Mendes takes the left mid role, with Lucas Hernandez taking the left back role. Both of these work really well. So this formation is good offensively, it's good defensively. I think, it's easier for the players to play. So, yeah, that's what I think. I think, for example, when it comes to Nuno Mendes, this is the area pretty much he's covering at the moment. But if we make him to a left wing back, he will just be a touchline defender. And that's when Nuno Mendes is at his best. I think when he has to defend the central areas pretty much as a center back and also be offensive, he's like stuck in this situation. Do I go up? Do I go down? I don't think Nuno Mendes is in a good spot. I think when it comes to the left centre-back spot that we're playing now, that suits Lucas Hernandez a lot more. Why? Because he's mostly a defender. Then he can also do some offensive stuff. Nuno Mendes, he's an attacking left wing-back. I mean, he came through the ranks of Sporting as a left winger. So this is really not the best way to use him. So if we use him like this, it's much better. And I think Nuno Mendes can be much more concentrated because his job will be much, not easier, but he will understand it way more. It will be way more practical, where he just has to defend his width, knowing that if he gets beat, because he's a very aggressive defender who goes into challenges, if he gets beat, there is Lucas Hernandez waiting for the attacker there. When it comes to Dembele and Bradley Barcola, obviously we've seen the reports about them sometimes complaining, not having that much freedom, and obviously in the current system, they hold the width a lot, especially Bradley Barcola. Sometimes we see Dembele coming a bit more central, but Barcola has been that touchline hugger on that left-hand side. But if they do play these central roles, we could potentially even see Dembele and Barcola drop down when needed. They can be in this central area, they can go this, and they can obviously always go to their own flanks and cook from there, or make, a quick 1-2 with Achraf Hakimi or Nuno Mendes off the sides. And the final interesting thing, as I've mentioned, what I like about this formation is the Neves Gonçalo swap. You can play an extra midfielder, you can play a 10, a false 9, whatever you want. So, because for me, the most important thing is obviously keeping the shape. That's something that has been unanimous with Luis Enrique ever since he came in. When we have the ball, we are a 3-2-5. That suits his U-shaped ball because then you can actually create a U. But I'm thinking we play the same, but we push up an extra midfielder. And I think this helps the team. And it also helps the squad players that we have, because then we can be a bit more, versatile. And Dembele and Barcola, I think an issue we don't have any winger profiles. So if they play a bit more closer to the goal, we have players like Asensio, Kangili, Due, who would look better more centrally than on the wing. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about the 5 at the back formation? I think it's something definitely Luis Enrique has to try. I've talked about Dembele as the 10. I've talked about so many stuff Luis Enrique can try. I'm going to keep on doing this because I'm tired, because we're just seeing the same thing happen over and over and over again, repeating itself. And Luis Enrique is not trying to find any, solutions. While me here sitting in my room, I've found, a billion solutions for him to do, small tweaks to improve the team. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about the 5 at the back formation? Shout out to David. He was obviously the first one that started talking about the 5 at the back. And now when I went into detail, it could actually work really well. I think, obviously, the only thing that is lacking from this is, once again, it's centre-back depth, especially if Skriniar leaves in January, according to reports. And obviously, we have to sign a right-footed centre-back. And then when it comes to the full-back spot, I've said, obviously, who knows? Maybe we could see Barcola or Desiree Doué play as the left wing back. And obviously, it's very, very, very realistic to see Warren as that right wing back. But, yeah. And obviously, Luis Enrique did try out the 5 at the back in his last season at FC Barcelona. More of a 3 at the back, I would call it. He was playing sometimes Neymar Jr. and Rafinha as left wing backs. So we'll wait and see what Luis Enrique does. That's been it from my boy PSG, and hopefully guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about these presentation videos. I like them the most. They are the easiest to make, and hopefully they're very understandable for you guys. But yeah, and as usual, allez, Paris.